I'm Marnie Cate, author of The Protectors of the Elemental Magic series. This is my book, Remember, and my second book, Exigency. Both are available. If you want to learn a little bit more about why we need to protect the magic, you can check out the author's anthology Life that has my short story Beginnings.
Tell us about your writing process. How do you start? How do you go? Are you a plotter, planner? How do you work?
I just wrote. Now, since it's a series, I have to be more alert and conscientious, and I do plan it out, but I do find that there's definitely inspiration that takes me off my path. My original good ideas usually change a lot. I always start with like a scene in mind, and Mara Stone is my protagonist, so most of my stories are about what is Mara up against and how is she feeling and how is she responding to it. And a lot of it is her emotions, which are all over the place. She is the most manic, high spirit, like strong, depressed character I've ever probably read.
What do you like about writing?
You know, I just like to see what happens. I mean, I will honestly, my favorite thing to do for the past like year and a half has been when I drive to turn on my voice memo and just pretend I'm that character and I'm having a conversation. I will get into voices. And then I'll even apologize if I get interrupted. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just ruined that because of traffic. And then I'll yell at people on the road. But I just find that like the whole acting it out and getting into it is my favorite part. And the people I've met while writing. I've met so many great other indie authors that, you know, cheer you on, give you inspiration.
Give everybody one tip for editing.
The best thing to do is either read it out loud or I use a program that reads it to me. And so if I look at it and I hear it, then I can catch the things that I'm like, oh. But it's funny, if I just listen to it and then I'm not looking at it and I go and I highlight it and I go back later, I'm like, there's no mistake here. What's my problem? And then I turn on the voice and it reads it to me. I'm like, oh, that's a completely different word I like to skip words. So that's the hardest. Editing is just don't be hard on yourself. You can always revise it.
That's a really great tip. That's really cool. I do the same thing. And I'm just like you. I think I wrote a word and I missed it.
Well, you get blindness. You're like, I know I wrote that.
Yeah.
Exigency has a scene in it right now that is going to be fixed. So if you have Exigency, you're going to have a broken collector's edition. I have Cole, who's the boyfriend of the protagonist, very upset, and he's crumbling up a cookie. And then somehow he's doing the same thing again, like 2 sentences later. Like, I don't know when in the edit I decided he needed to do the same thing twice, but hopefully nobody's noticed it.
Give one tip for anybody who's looking to start a book series.
I just say to the person that wants to create a series, create a world that you want to keep repeating and going back to. And I hope people that when they read my book, they like my character and I know that some people I'll know you read my book by what you say about book 1. Because everyone says the same thing. And I can't tell you what it is because it's a spoiler, but I'm sorry, yes. Book 2 will clear up some things, but just try. And then after book 2, you might hate me again, but book 3 is going to bring it all together, and then you might hate me again. But book 4, we'll fix all that. We'll just keep building, okay? Trust me.
Name one thing in your artistic journey that you would do differently.
I would probably have had more confidence in the beginning and tried to find a publisher. Everybody kept saying to me, like, and I'm like, no, I'm not good enough. You can't do it. I'll just do it myself. I would have done that. I probably would have paid. Well, I don't know if I have the money to do that, but paid someone to really edit the first book a little bit better. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just thinking that with an editor, not a proofreader, they can look at it and give you their insight on, like, why did you do that? Like, and I had an editor for Exigency that probably wanted to beat me. Because I'm like, well, that needs to be there. I like domestic scenes. Yes, I want to have people eating cookies and talking. That's my book line.
Subsequently name one moment you're really proud of that you wouldn't do differently.
You know, just publishing the first book was, even actually every book I've published, and not my book, but the audio book that I was able to have produced and read, that was honestly like hearing my words read by someone else. That was pretty impressive to me. I was like, for some reason, audiobooks feel like they validate you as an author. And maybe that's silly, but I feel like if it's an audiobook, that means I'm a real author.
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it because the audience doesn't know. Name one person who you want to meet and why.
Judi Dench. I love Judi Dench. Judi Dench I ran into, not like in person, on Netflix at like kind of a weird point in my life. I don't even know if I started writing yet. I was kind of feeling a little bit low, and then I just ran into this. I was looking for another British show that now that I'm like watched it, I'm like, why was I looking for that? But I found this show and I found this woman, and I could not find enough about her, just her spirit. Judi Dench is like a mighty little woman with like so much heart and spirit, and everything she does, you just feel like she is genuinely a great person. And my books will forever be dedicated to her. She honestly, her and my grandmother will always.
Have you sent her a book?
I did send her a letter about my book, and then my friend wrote her a letter saying she published and dedicated. She sent me a congratulations autograph, which is great.
So one book you've read that you wish you had wrote?
Oh, just the one? Wow.
You can give me a handful, it's fine.
You know, Dicey's Song, which I can't remember the author's name, Cynthia Boyd. And that was a kid's book I read. And there was something about her, and maybe if I read it now, I wouldn't be as sucked into it, but it really brought me like into, and you know, I'm going to be real honest, it had a relationship with a grandmother that took care of her children, the grandchildren, and that touched my heart, which is my book is about a grandmother that, you know, has taken care of her granddaughter. So I'm kind of have a sensitive heart to that. So
if your publisher came to you today and said, we need a book written based on a famous history event, what event would you write about?
Wow. 9/11 came to mind at first, but then I thought I couldn't do that. That would be too exhausting.
Well, I mean, local to you, Gabby Giffords, maybe?
That would be an interesting one. Yeah. No, you know what? I couldn't do anything where anyone was hurt. So what would be newsworthy that, you know what? I'm not political, but I've been watching some stuff. And last night when I watched the president speak, I felt like seriously, like all of a sudden, like I'm so proud to be an American.
Yeah.
That maybe something like that, like writing about, you know, the process of being a candidate to be a leader in the country. That might be something.
That would be an awesome book, actually.
I didn't say my allegiance to any political party. I just was proud to be an American. MarnieCate.com. MARNIE, cat with an E on the end. If you go to MarnieCate.com, I have links to all my social media sites.
Thank you, Marnie.
Thank you. Well, my books, first book, very easy. I made up some names of things and I was able to remember. And then second book came along and I started getting fancy. And I trying to remember, like, what did I name this person? What did I name this world? And then if I changed it, I'd be calling them the wrong name and I have to go back. And my sister despises the fact that my names are so complicated. It's Area Nolwenn and Elonius. It's okay. Love you, Mike.
Give me your go-to swear words.
I can't give you my go-to F word.
Come on.
My go-to swear word, I always say the F word. Fuck that. But that's not very young adult PC.